Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 4.
Here's a look at today's top 4 at 4. Senate candidate Jason Lewis was rushed to the hospital this morning. According to a statement on Twitter by his campaign manager, Lewis is suffering from an extreme internal hernia. He had emergency surgery, which was successful. The Minnesota Republican faces Democratic incumbent Tina Smith in the election next Tuesday. And stocks started today's session lower amid mounting worries about record U.S. coronavirus cases. The S&P 500 slid 1.59%. That's an average of 650 points today. And gas prices fell by a little more than 2 cents in the past 2 weeks, according to industry analyst Trilby Lundberg. The national average price for regular gas now sits right around $2.22 a gallon. And President Trump's Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett is expected to be confirmed this evening. The controversial nomination was rushed through just a week before the election, despite protests from Senate Democrats. We'll have more on the vote and what it could mean for the upcoming election coming up. And that's a quick look at your top 4 at 4. Now, Fargo Public Schools elementary students return to the classroom today. Students will be in the classroom Monday through Friday. Friday is a distance learning day. The time will be used to deep clean each school. All non-essential classroom visits have been suspended. Middle and high school students will continue hybrid learning until further notice. And Fargo Public Schools is asking the community for suggestions for the new name of Woodrow Wilson High School. The FPS School Board voted to change the name last month after public input. Suggestions for the new name can be submitted via the naming process form on the district's website. Suggestions will be submitted until November 8th, and the Board of Education will meet to review them and take a vote on a later date. FPS says the school would transition to its new name before the next school year begins. And authorities are expanding their search for a missing Minnesota woman with dementia. 80-year-old Andrea Nyberg was last seen Friday evening in Mora, Minnesota. Police say Nyberg has dementia and cannot drive, but took the family car and hasn't been seen since. She was driving a red 2004 Buick and was wearing an aqua-colored London Fog raincoat. Anyone with information about Nyberg should call 911. And Fargo police are alerting the public about a scam website claiming to have kittens for sale. Police were alerted to a scam after someone contacted them saying they had to pay thousands of dollars in fees. The website gives an address pinned to downtown Fargo, which is inaccurate. The local phone number on the website states it is a long-distance number that requires an access code. Police are reminding the public to be careful when purchasing anything online and to try and adopt, don't shop. And Sanford Health and Salt Lake City-based Intermountain Healthcare announced their intent to merge today. Officials say Intermountain Healthcare is at the forefront of digital healthcare and telehealth. The combined organization will employ more than 89,000 people and operate 70 hospitals, many in rural communities. The merger is expected to close in 2021, pending federal and state approval. And officials want to remind drivers that starting today, First Avenue North will be down to 1 lane in each direction between 5th Street North and Broadway for emergency water main repairs. The road is expected to be fully reopened by the end of the day on Thursday. And Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and the state's top health officials addressed the state's COVID-19 situation this afternoon. Hospitalizations are up 70% in the state. The governor urged residents to remain vigilant as their numbers continue to rise. Walz said, quote, "Just because we want it over doesn't make it over." He called on Minnesotans to avoid large gatherings and to continue social distancing. He added that the next couple of months will be crucial in the fight against the virus. And we now know the name of the man who died after a crash in Walsh County, North Dakota. Police say 38-year-old Tony Ebertowski was near Park River yesterday morning when he drove off the road and into a ditch. His truck rolled and the man was partially ejected from the vehicle. And police are trying to track down the person who fired a shot that hit a 9-year-old boy outside of his apartment in St. Cloud. The boy was bringing in items from a car Saturday night and was near the main door to the building. He was hit by a single gunshot, but is expected to be okay. And Vice President Mike Pence is campaigning in Minnesota today. The fight of his stop in the state was up in the air after 2 of his close staffers tested positive for COVID-19. The vice president and his wife tested negative for the virus this morning, so the campaign event was back on. Pence is currently speaking at an airport in Hibbing before flying to Washington, D.C. to preside over the confirmation of Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett tonight. And Minnesota's Department of Corrections is dealing with an outbreak of coronavirus at the Stillwater prison. As of today, there are more than 500 active cases with 2 inmates hospitalized. Commissioner Paul Chenille says there were 0 COVID cases at Stillwater through September. This outbreak happened suddenly. The number of inmates at the facility has been reduced to just over 1,200 since the start of the pandemic. 62 staff members have also tested positive for the coronavirus. And with the election just days away, President Trump and former Vice President Biden are back on the campaign trail. We'll have the latest next on Valley News Live at 4.